Hello everyone, welcome to this CADMATIC Electrical technical demonstration for marine industry. My name is Christian Mühl and I will demonstrate the CADMATIC Electrical for you. The demonstration takes about 1 hour. We'll start with this CADMATIC Electrical PowerPoint presentation and then we'll move on to the software demonstration. CADMATIC offering for electrical design includes two standalone design applications. One is CADMATIC Electrical. That is for schematics, for electrical arrangement, for panel layouts. The other is for 3D modeling, cableway modeling, cable routing. Today, this demonstration focuses on the CADMATIC Electrical only. Key benefits of CADMATIC Electrical. First, it is the total solution for electrical design that covers complete documentation needs for electrical, instrumentation, and automation projects, all in one standalone CAD software. It has its full CAD engine and it is compatible with DWG, DXF. You can import TGN, IFC. So there are several formats available that you can import or export. Electrical allows to connect with 3D modeling, which means that if you create a device in electrical, the same device can also be inserted into the 3D model with all the information you have added in electrical design tool. So it offers multidisciplinary collaboration in the integrated design environment. The other example is that if you have created a cable in electrical, you can route it in 3D model. What is our promise? That CADMATIC Electrical keeps your electrical documents up to date automatically. It is a multi-user and database-based tool that allows efficient teamwork and unified design style. Electrical has global symbol libraries, more than 10,000 symbols available, and of course these are all intelligent ones, having the wiring points, having the attributes. And the standards that we offer these symbols are the ISC, ANSI, and GBT. All the objects, like cables, devices, are intelligent in CADMATIC Electrical. And it is also very easy to find the occurrences. So for example, a motor can have several occurrences in different kind of documents, like in single line documents, in wiring diagrams, in electrical arrangement documents. With our navigation tool, it is very easy to find them. And if you have a need to change the information, change the tag, for example, then after you do the change in one document, all the other documents are automatically updated. There are generation and reuse options available for efficient design. So if you have drawn intelligent diagram, you can then reuse it smartly, and all the data that you have added to the diagram can be then extracted in reports. Electrical offers process flexibility. So you can use the generation, you can draw diagrams from scratch, you can reuse documents, you can import devices from Excel, from our B&ID, you can create a device in electrical. So we'll show the examples later on during my demonstration. CADMATIC Electrical key deliverables include electrical arrangement drawings, the deck plan drawings, circuit and wiring diagrams, single line and block diagrams, panel assembly drawings, and of course the reports, connection lists, all these kind of documents. And as mentioned, it is a database-based tool. If a motor, for example, has occurrence on single line, circuit diagram, electrical arrangement, you make a change there in single line, then all the other documents will be automatically updated. CADMATIC Electrical is integrated with our 3D cable router. with plant modeler, with eShare, and with B&ID. So for example, if you create a cable in CADMATIC Electrical, then you can route the cable or cables in 3D model and get the exact cable length in your electrical reports. But you will see some of the examples later on during my demonstration, but also you can see the example videos on our YouTube channel. Let's continue with the software demonstration. This is the CADMATIC Electrical. The first thing that I want to explain you is the scope of CADMATIC Electrical. So what kind of project deliverables you can design with it. So let's start with the key single line diagrams. Then the next one, the block diagrams. You can have several sheets in one file, or you can have just one sheet in one file as you wish. Then the termination drawings, the wiring diagrams, the electrical arrangement documents, and for example, all the luminaires that I have placed here can be then also multi-inserted into the 3D model, but that example comes a bit later. Cabinet layout. So for example, if you have used the contactors or you want to show the device location inside the cabinet, also these kind of documents can be created with electrical. So let's now go to the key single line, and let's first check the navigation. So first, if you want to look for a device and you know the ID of it, you can always type in the ID to the search field, like I'm doing now, and it will find you the equipment. So now it found the motor, and if I click on a show occurrences from drawing, it shows all the occurrences in all the documents. So the same motor is used several times on a key single line, on a block diagram, and also on electrical arrangement documents. So it is the same device having several occurrences. Technical metadata is the same, and the logic is that, for example, from arrangement document, the object will get information about what is its room information, because it is placed inside a room boundary. So I have here a room boundary that can be imported or created. And if the device is inside this room boundary, it has the room information also. Also, it knows that it is on a third deck. That is all here. But now if I double click the object and change the ID of it, I will also change the device text. And if I now click OK, then all the other occurrences are automatically updated. So you don't need to do anything. Software will take care of it, that you have the information up to date in all documents where the equipment was used. Other thing I mentioned was the room boundary. So quite often we need to show the room information also on diagrams, but we already have the room information. It comes from the electrical arrangement. So it is logical that we don't just type simple text, but we use intelligent data fields. So let's now choose the insert object info to drawing function. And I want to add room information to the project, but also I want to add the deck information. Let's add the deck also. So there are two data fields that I want to show the values. I will also save it for future use that it is easier next time. The location of it could be here. So propulsion room, second deck. Also, I want to add same data also here. I use this time the context menus. So this is the data that I want to add. Let me add it. I will add it over there. So now when I go back to the electrical arrangement, for example, change the room ID. So it is not anymore propulsion room, it is propulsion room 1, 2, 3. If I click OK, then all my electrical diagrams are automatically updated. One thing that I haven't yet explained you is how do we create equipment. So there are several ways. One is that we just copy something that we already have and we use it again and just change the ID. So for example, the generator now is, instead of G4, it is now G3. Yes, so I copied the generator. The data fields are the same. If needed, of course, I can go and change it. It's just a matter of changing the values. The cable package was also copied. So here we have the cable package and the ID of it is 53. And here we have a cable that automatically generated ID is now 150. Now, of course, I can always define the ID myself, and I will explain it a bit later. What are the functions that we can use for that? So this is one example. The other that I want to explain you is we have the CADMATIC portfolio. We can import devices that needs electrification from CADMATIC P&ID diagram. And when you import it from P&ID, then if you make a change in P&ID, your electrical documents will be synchronized and updated. In addition, you can import cable lists, devices, technical information, etc. You can import from Excel. So then you don't need to type the information in. You can just map it and import tens, hundreds, thousands of rows of information automatically. And if you have an update in the Excel, you can just re-import that and update your electrical documents. Of course, the electrical has symbol menus. It has lots of symbols in its symbol menus. You can choose single line symbols or multi-line symbols. For example, let's take their motors menu. Here you have example of motors, but the user can also create their own symbols if needed. And of course, these are then intelligent symbols, knowing the type of it. Like this one knows that it is a motor. But one thing that I want to explain you next, it is the cables. So here we have main switchboard and the cable package containing 5 cables are coming from main switchboard, and it goes to the frequency drive. Here it goes to. And the software already predicts that the cable length is about 61.7 meters. So how it is then estimated? So the location of the same device is over there. of the frequency drive, and the main switchboard is this symbol over here. So the CADMATIC Electrical estimates that the cable length between these two head and tail objects is 61.7 meters. That it does without drawing or modeling the cable. It is a good estimate, but of course, when you want to have exact cable lengths, you need to use our 3D cable router. And I will show you next how we can send cables from electrical to the cable router and brought back the cable lengths. The same project, electrical project, cables are created here in electrical. They got their head and tail information in electrical. So now I want to export all the cables to the 3D model, to the COS database. Next, I open the cable router and I import the cables sent from electrical, and I can see them there. I see the cable type, the head and tail information, and some of the cables miss their head and tail equipment. So we cannot route cables before the head and tail equipment are placed into the 3D model. That part will be explained later, but the status of these cables will stay unrouted because these cannot be routed at this point because not having the 3D models available in 3D model. Here I have the cables and I click the auto route function. So now CADMATIC 3D cable design routed all the cables, and we can see the preview of the route between the main switchboard and the frequency drive via the cable trace shown there. And the cable length, the exact cable length now is close to 80 meters instead of 61 meters that we calculated using the coordinates. If there is a need, we can always check the fill rates of the cable trace. You can just click on a cable trace segment and you can see the fill rate, the cross section. So for example, fill rate now is 79.8% and the cross section also. So now we can synchronize the electrical, and instead of 61, we have there now 79 meters. And the report part I will explain a bit later, but we can also update now the reports and show the up-to-date information there. What is the exact cable lengths? On our YouTube channel, you can see also the longer video, which also shows how you can manage all the changes. So what happens if you need to delete the cable from electrical that is already routed in 3D model, or when you need to change the type of cable, or when new cables are created in electrical. So how you manage all that. Regarding cable databases, CADMATIC has also cable databases included, and to show some example, I can show the cable database. We have more than 10,000 cables in the database, and all the cables also, these cables have the diameter information, they have its weight, specification. Every cable wire also knows what is the material of it, what's the cross section. It's in English, in Spanish, in German, the colors. So that is something that if we need to do projects to Spain, we can use it in Spanish, and also in reports it is in Spanish there available. So these are intelligent cable databases that you can use in electrical design. But of course, every user can create their own user-specific cable databases, and those can be then shared inside the company. That administrator can create a new cable or tens of cables, and all the electrical engineers, electrical designers can then use those cables in their projects. Also, cables can have several occurrences. So for example, this cable package over here has one occurrence on a key single line, but another occurrence here on electrical block diagram. And one thing that we can see here, it is that 4 cables are bolded and 1 is not, which means that it doesn't yet have occurrence drawn. So what we can now do, we can copy one or draw the cable occurrence, and it shows the head and the tail. And if I now need to add the cable marking, I can just select one and show the location of it if needed. So now also the additional one is bolded, which means that it has all the occurrences. And the number of occurrences, the information is also available on a database, and I will show why is it good a bit later on. After I have drawn the cables on a key single line and the individual cables here on block diagram, I can also draw the cable occurrence on the termination drawings. It is just that the same cable has then another occurrence. So I can choose the function to draw the termination drawing, and then the cable wires will also get the connection information, and you can use the data then in reports and connection lists, but I will skip that part to save time. The next topic that I want to cover, it is the device information, the symbols. How do we manage same kind of objects? Let's take the luminaires as example, and I will choose the position project tree. Here I can see that I have 314 luminaires in this project, and different type 181 and so on. So if I want to see where the devices are placed, I can easily see them, and if I hit enter, it will open the tech plan for a next tech that I can see the devices also there. So if I now need to add a couple of more, then I can choose the functions like horizontally 2, vertically 2, that is fine. I can also use all the object snaps, etc. And now I have 318 luminaires used in this project. So you have always a real-time amount of equipment visible here in the project tree. So if there is a need for a change, for example, I need to change the symbol. Let's change it for that one, and I will also change the 3D model. And the 3D model is that one. In addition, I will now create a new data field. These are all the existing data fields in the project, but I will now create totally new one that I don't have it in the database. So to do it, I go to the database, click there new, give a name. So it is my item code. I can use it like that one also. I define it attribute and my item code, and I define it for devices and for product models. Okay, now I have a new data field, which is my item code. I double click it and we'll define that all these luminaires will get P45 as value. So now I have 2D symbol updated, 3D model updated. The same 3D model is also used in our 3D outfitting tool, the cable router. And I have added additional data field. If I now click close, then throughout the project, all the plans are updated automatically. So you can see that the symbols are updated. If I now check the data, then I can already see that it has a new data field, my item code. So all the objects have value my item code P45. P45 for all the objects. Also the luminaires that I placed inside this room boundary, they got the room information. So these luminaires are placed in tech workshop. And if I remove one luminaire, then I had 317 luminaires in my project now. So the product models the product model technology is basically a device template. So when we do any kind of changes there, then the same type of equipment are updated throughout the project. After the electrical designer has placed the luminaires, the mechanical designer can use this information to insert or multi-insert electrical objects in 3D model. I use this video to explain how this integration works. So first we have here in electrical, we have luminaires, product models that has all the information about the manufacturer, about the 3D model. Then the electrical is connected with the 3D modeling tool, and the electrical engineer chooses which objects can be now sent to the 3D model. After those are selected, these are available in 3D modeler. We can place the equipment one by one, or then when all are selected, we can also use multi-insert to insert the 3D models of the luminaires. We can see that the same metadata, same tag, same manufacturer information is now available also in 3D modeler. Now, if you need to change the location of object, for example, in 3D model, then you can always compare the electrical project and the modeler project to see the differences. Here we can see that the insertion point has different coordinates. If this is fine, we can accept it. If it is not wanted, then we can update the electrical documents. Now we have placed 6 luminaires into the 3D model. So it's time now to go back to the electrical and do some changes. So we'll change the type of the luminaire to be a different one. So now we have a situation that in electrical, it's different than in 3D model. So how to fix it? We need to synchronize the project and update our 3D model. We have read in the changes, and now we can see that the instance parameters are updated, which means that it's not anymore the same object. So if we want, we can resolve those all, or we can accept the changes one by one. But now we can see that also the 3D model is updated. Let's now continue with electrical and product models in schematics. We can use the same device templates, product models in schematics. And here we have one product model available, which is a motor protection switch. It has its product information, it has its graphical symbols. And if I now insert the symbol, then I can already see the two predefined symbols for the device. I can choose the one that is not yet used. And now there are the tick marks in front of two symbols, meaning that all the occurrences have been inserted into the project. So now, if needed, I can always change the symbols, change the bin numbers, the product information. And for example, if you change one product to another and it had different bin numbers, then of course also these will be updated automatically. Another kind of product model here, it is the contactor that has also several symbols. It could have also panel layout symbol. This one has also the product information, and product information can be also selected from the product databases from manufacturers like ABB, Siemens, etc. If I place a symbol, I need to define for the first one what is the ID, or I can select it from the list. All the next ones, the ID is formed then automatically. So the next available, like the last one was Q04, the next one is now Q05. And we have the objects in the project tree, and the additional occurrences can now be inserted. After I delete the objects, also the product model tree is updated, that I have only two available. I can always stretch, remove, draw new lines, that is, or new wires. That is the basic what CADMATIC Electrical offers. So the drawing automation, we call it, that this of course has it. And if we now stretch the document, then all the cross references will be automatically updated. So before there was 29, so now it is 30. Next example is that I will add the raw information to the cross references. Now it shows that the cross reference of this changeover switch is on second sheet, and C was the raw. And if I now change the location of it to the row B, then the cross reference on the sheet number 1 is automatically updated. So there is no need to manually change anything. So it is updated always automatically in real time. Next thing that I explain, it is our database tool that can be used to check, edit, and supplement the project data. And the first example here, it is the documents and the drawing label information. So one thing that I do here, I define date in drawing labels. I can also multi-insert here values. for the name fields or the planner. So it is easy to see everything in one view. This tabular database tool is a perfect tool for quality assurance because you can see in one view what you have. You have the filtering options, sorting possibilities, edits, and so on. So when I want to see regarding cables, what are the cables that connects cabinet, or what are all the cables, or what are the cables coming from switchboard room, I can filter, sort according to a certain field or a value. If there is a need to do some changes, for example, you need to change the cable type from 95 to, for example, you need to change the type or a manufacturer, then you choose the cables, and from a cable database, I choose alternative, which is now a bit bigger one. After I save it, it is done. So I have saved new cable type for the selected cables. I don't need to go to the documents to select those. I can do it in database. It's much faster, and of course it is also offering a better quality. Nothing is forgotten then. In case you need to do some changes in Excel, the tool also allows to do changes via Excel. Now I have all the project cables in Excel. I can, for example, change the ID here, and it is very easy to do it in Excel. Of course, this can be done also in database tool, but also Excel is an option. Now I can import back all the changes, and of course, timestamp is then added that I have made change with the cables. The cabinets are under the location tab, the terminal blocks under terminal blocks tab, and if I look for some specific one to renumber it, for example, I can select it and change the numbers. There is one cabinet that I have selected, and I want to add translations for the device text. Electrical also contains dictionaries. These are Excel-based files that you can fill yourself, or you can send to the translation office. And you can change one to another, and you can see the results in a second. Here we have all the devices, so we can also check the room, check according to the device type, according to the IDs. We can see what is the elevation of a device. This is now the relative one. We have also the absolute elevation information there. We can see the number of occurrences. You can see the position numbers, the IP, power, manufacturer. The blue indicates that information comes from the product model. If I only want to see the motors, I choose the motor there under this device type filter, and I can only see the motors. And now I can basically add more data there if I need. But now, after I have done some changes in the database tool, I can synchronize all the documents. So now the cable IDs are changed, the terminal block numeration is changed, there is a new date in the drawing label. We have translations available. Also with all the other documents that contains now the new cable type. The cable IDs are updated, the cable packages, but also here in the block diagram, the cable IDs and cable type information is updated. So you don't need to open up the documents to make changes. You have always the database tool that supports you in doing that. Now when we have done changes, we can update the reports. It can be done with 2 clicks. It takes some seconds to update the Excel reports, and regarding reports, we can do those in Excel, PDF, or in CAD. And there is example of Excel report. We have a date there that I defined. We have new cable IDs, cable type, even also the new IDs that I defined before. Here we have a cable connection report, and some cables I have also connected with the terminals. So for example, this 5272. So if I want to see it, where does it get the connection information with terminals? I can easily use the find tree and then navigate to the occurrence, and I can see that this cable wire is connected between these 2 elements. And I can, if I hold my mouse there, I can see it also on a callout. And here I have example of device report, which is luminaire report. And there are 317 pieces, and per deck I can also see how many I have per deck and what is the sum. It's the total sum. If there is a need, we can also compare documents for changes. So I need to choose the current one and then the previous revision, for example. And if I hit compare, software starts to analyze what are the changes, and it will highlight it with colors. So everything what is green, it is added. What is red, it is removed. And with yellow are marked all the changes. So you can easily see the changes in this report. And you can also save those if there is a need. For printing, CADMATIC Electrical has also PDF drivers included, so you can print all sheets, selected sheets, all files in one run. And this example shows just how we print 4 or 5 sheets into single PDF file. And this is of course Smart PDF. In case you had the wire references, then you can jump from one to another. You can look for ID. If I use Control F and type in, for example, whiskey 5000, then I can easily find the occurrence on a first sheet. Let's move on now to the Excel import. And to demonstrate that, I first create a new empty project. For that, I just create a new project folder, and I will add this new file into the project. I will choose the database, can fill the project data, but we'll skip those now. One thing that I will define is just the drawing frame, and for that I use the A1. Now I don't have any wirings, I do not have any devices in this project, so it is totally empty. The only one is the drawing label and one file. Also the database tool is completely empty. And now I will import information that I have in Excel. I have already previously mapped one Excel file here, and let's have a look what the Excel file contains. It contains a cable list, cable schedule that has cable ID, cable type, the head and tail information, the description information, where it comes and where it goes. Also the cable length, but you could have here tons of other information that you can then just link here in the mapping tool. And after you have mapped it, you can import all the data fields from Excel that you need. And it is just drag and drop. You drag the data field to the corresponding database field. And if I click now import, it starts to import all the cabinets, the cables, and of course the cable wires also. And on the left side, I already saw that the cabinets were created. And when I go to the location tab, I can see the cabinets. And when I click on cables, I can see all the cables. Now I have two options. Okay, first I will synchronize to see the information in the project tree. I can see the cables, and on the left side I can see also the cabinets. Now I can draw the boundaries and draw the single line documents or the block diagrams, or the other option is that I can also generate it automatically. And this example is how we can generate it. I choose the location for the first cabinet, and it generates 3 levels in one run. And now I can see how I can see the cable connections, and I also can see on a call out the cable lengths, the additional value that I defined. I can also show the value here in this document if there is a need. It is now time to sum up this demonstration. So you have now seen what the CADMATIC Electrical is. It is a sophisticated electrical automation and instrumentation design software. It has lots of features, but of course we need more time to show more of the feature that CADMATIC Electrical brings you. But a small recap to what you have seen today. Regarding diagrams and schematic, you can use CADMATIC Electrical to create single line diagrams, key single line diagrams, interconnection diagrams, instrument loop diagrams, circuit and wiring diagrams. And regarding some of the features you have seen today, we have integration with cabinet layout and electrical arrangement drawings. The electrical is also integrated with CADMATIC outfitting, P&ID, eShare. We can always reuse the diagrams that we have drawn intelligently, or we can reuse the information we have defined. All the cross-references are working in real time in CADMATIC Electrical. There is no need to manually update any references. Reports are generated automatically, and you can do those in CAD, in Excel, or in PDF. Didn't have time to demonstrate you today the modular generation, but you can see example of our modular generation functionality in our YouTube channel. Regarding the electrical arrangement drawings, you can use this module to create electrical and low current systems. It is integrated with CADMATIC outfitting, of course with eShare. It is also integrated with our schematics application. You have seen the product models, so there is no need to edit or manage devices individually. There are Dialux connection available for lighting calculation, automated tagging function, wiring functions, automated reports, and tons of other good functions. Few last words about the data management in CADMATIC Electrical. You have seen examples how the database tool can be used for quality assurance. It allows the electrical automation and instrumentation design data to be viewed in database tool. That makes it easy to check, edit, or supplement project data. It allows bulk editing both in DB tool or in Excel. And after changes in central database, all documents are automatically updated. Of course, the changes are logged and there are no limitations for data fields. You can easily create your own data fields and use those with CAD documents or with reports. Database structure is very sophisticated there. If you have any questions, if you would like to know more about CADMATIC Electrical, to see the software demonstration live, to be able to ask questions from our application specialist, then please feel free to contact us, our sales team, or our support team. Thank you for following this demonstration, and I hope you have a pleasant day ahead. Bye-bye.